Hi everybody. Okay, I promised y'all that I would do a video on Hydrosol soaps, and I know there's not a lot of information out there about this, and I know some of you watching are soap makers. Maybe you own a business, I don't know. But I thought what I would do is share my recipe with you. That doesn't happen very often, I know, but I think this is for a good cause, and I think if anybody wants to get into hydrosols, they should. Here is my Camomile Oil Roman Hydrosol. I hope you can see that. And this is from Essential Depot. I just got that in. It's 1 liter, which is approximately 2.2 pounds. It's concentrated floral water. Remember in my other video I talked about rose waters. Well, floral water, that's what that is. This is the runoff from when they make their essential oil from their chamomile flower. The Roman chamomile flower, obviously, because it says Camomile Roman, Camomile Oil Roman. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. You have to kind of let common sense be your guide, okay? Because think of it this way. This has a lot of nutrients in it, and I want this nutrients in my soap. And lye is destructive, okay? I don't know if you've ever seen anybody's eyes, if they've gotten, you know, damaged by lye, but it basically looks like they have cataracts. And that's scarring from having lye in your eyes. So you can just imagine when you take goat's milk or a hydrosol, like, you know, the Camomile Oil Roman Hydrosol that we're going to work with. I feel like if I were to put this in lye, I would be doing a disservice to my soap. Now that's my opinion. That's how I feel about it. And so what I'm going to do on this recipe is I'm going to use half water and half hydrosol, the Camomile Oil Roman Hydrosol, towards the end after my soap is made, and I'm going to distribute it within my soap at that point. And that's going to be fine, because when you do hot process, it's okay to add moisture to your soaps, because this is concentrated heat. And that's why when you use your soap calculator, you're going to do it at 38% if you're going to do hot process. You need that extra moisture in there. And so on the recipe, I've already put my butters in and my oils, and I have 32 ounces of coconut, 1.6 ounces of shea, 8 ounces of sunflower oil, 7.2 ounces of castor oil, 31.2 ounces of olive oil. And on my lye, which I also use the Essential Depot product, I'm using the sodium hydroxide lye beads, and they come in the 2-pound containers, and I showed y'all that in my product review. And this is the lye that I use in all my soaps, and I love it. And it's a great product. Essential Depot is a wonderful company. And of course on the back it gives all kinds of first aid, you know, forcibly flush eyes with water for 15 minutes, seek immediate medical aid, external, flood with water for 15 minutes, internal. They just don't do it. And if you do it, if it ends up you have to induce vomiting, drink large quantities of water, followed by milk or vinegar, seek immediate medical aid. That is the very first thing I would do. The vinegar deactivates lye, and it works, and it's immediate. And so when I clean up afterwards, I do half vinegar in my sink and half water. And it deactivates anything, my hands aren't burning, and so that's how I handle that cleanup. But, back on subject. On the lye measurement, in ounces it's 11.682, and in the grams it's 331.18. On the water, because I'm doing distilled water and the hydrosol, I'm dividing that up. So my original measurement on water is 861.825 grams. And I'm going to do this in grams because I get a more accurate reading and measurement. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I've divided that number. So the number that I'm going to set aside in my Hydrosol is 430. It says 9125 grams, but all I'm going to do is 430 grams of the Hydrosol. I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to do 430 grams of the distilled water. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to measure out my lye, and then I'm going to measure out my distilled water, which is going to be the 430 grams, and then I'm going to measure out my Hydrosol and set it aside. Okay? And if you're going to mix your Hydrosol with your lye, like you would if you were going to do that with goat's milk soap, say if you're going to do cold process, you need to freeze your Hydrosol. Do not put your lye into room temperature Hydrosol, because lye is destructive. You're going to be it's going to be working against you and the results that you want for your soap. So, oops, I'm falling apart here. So anyway, that is how I'm going to do it. And I also am going to add vitamin E to all my soaps here, my shampoo bars, my salt soaps, and my chamomile, and it's a preservative. And I usually do 2 caps. 2 caps equals 2 teaspoons. You know, if you measure it in a cap, a lot of chefs do that. I'm chef, so that's how I do it. And it does come out to 2 teaspoons, and it works out fine. So, when we come back, I'm going to mix my lye water in my oils, and then we will get this cooking, and you can see that they're already beginning to melt, which is good. Yep, that's doing good. And this is a 5-pound batch, by the way. I don't normally put a 5-pound batch in this particular crock pot, but I'm going to put it on low and really watch it. So, and I'm just going to keep it on low. I'm not going to turn it on high. You know, it's going to reach its goal anyway. It's just going to take a little longer to do so. So, anyway, I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, my oils and butters are just about melted. You can see there's a little bit left in there. And I wanted to show y'all because a lot of people, I'm sure there are some people who divide their water and their goat's milk in hot process. I do this a lot. And so for those of you who don't do it a lot, I wanted to show you. This is 430 grams. That's not a lot for the amount of lye I'm putting in. Which, what that means is that when I put the lye water into my oils, it's going to seize. There's no doubt in my mind. So, I always keep distilled water on hand. Pour a little bit in there. It's not going to make a difference because it's actually going to add moisture back into the soap. It's going to evaporate, but it's going to get my soap back to a consistency that it needs to be. But I wanted to show y'all what it looks like, so you don't do this and go, oh my gosh, you know, that's not a lot of water. And it's really not, but you're going to see that it'll be okay. I've done this a lot, and when I first started to do it, I thought, wow, you know, what am I doing here? And but it worked out fine, and it does well for me. So this is just the way I do it, and so that's what I wanted to show you at this point. Okay, I'll be back.